Right, we're going to cook my granary bread. First off, we just need to weigh out the ingredients. So, turn on my scales, and it's just 12 ounces of wholemeal flour and 12 ounces of the granary flour. That's just half and half. Right, so this is the granary flour. Ounces and 12 ounces of the wholemeal flour. Oh, almost there. Right. And then we're just going to flour the work surface slightly. Just do this whilst we've got clean hands. And you can see I've got a little ramekin there that's just with the wholemeal flour in as well. I suggest that if you haven't got that already there, that's a good idea, just in case we need more flour when our hands are all sticky. It saves you putting sticky hands in the bag of flour. Right, so we've got the flour in. I'm just going to add in 2 teaspoons of salt. And then the Easy Blend yeast. Just 1 pack. Right, that's all the dry ingredients, and just with a whisk, just very quickly, just stir it around, just to mix the ingredients like that and get rid of any lumps. There we go. And then next we need to add in the margarine. So just pop that in and get rid of the scales at this stage whilst the hands are still clean. And then you just want to rub this together, so getting the margarine and the flour, just rubbing it together, just so that it incorporates it into the flour. It doesn't have, you'll still have a little bit of lumps, but that's absolutely fine. So just rubbing it together in your hands like that. You can see this, hopefully. Go. Won't take long to do this. It's just mixing it before we put the water in. Right, now make a little well in the middle of your bowl, and we're just going to add the water. And it should be just hand hot, so lukewarm. Obviously, I can't show you temperature on the camera, but you know what I mean. This sort of thing that won't burn a baby. Right, so I've just put about half of it in, and I'm just flicking the sides over like that and just mixing it together slightly. And then another little well, and the rest of it goes in. And then just with your hands, this is where it will get messy, but that's absolutely fine. So mixing it together, just making sure that you're getting all the flour together with your hands. Right, can you see how this is going now? If you have a look, so it's coming together into a big sticky dough, and then if you lift it up, you probably have a little bit of flour at the bottom, so just sort of press it against it and then turn it over on itself, just so you're trying to get all the flour incorporated into your mix. And once you've done that, the bowl should be relatively clean, like that. And then just take the dough and plonk it on the work surface on top of the flour. Right, and this is where we start kneading. So this will take about 10 minutes to do in completion, but I'll do this probably for about 5 minutes with you, just so that you can see what will happen. So the way to knead it is you've got a bowl in a big lump, and with the flat of your hand, the heel, just pushing away from you, and then with the other hand, the knuckle just pulling towards you. And then just fold it over itself and turn it. So, pushing away and pulling towards you, and then fold it back over on itself, turn and do it. And that's all you need to do, and just keep repeating it. Your hands will be like this, don't worry about that. In a few minutes we'll be able to get all of that off absolutely fine. So then just push away and pull towards you. Bring it. If it breaks up like that, that's absolutely fine. It's still early stages. And all you're doing here is stretching the flour. If you find that it's sticking to your work surface, you can either move it to a little bit of flour, or from the ramekin just dust again slightly. I'm okay at the moment, so if you need to though, don't worry, that won't make you're not going to change the recipe by sort of adding a little bit more flour. So you can hopefully start picking up the speed now a little bit. So I'm in the ball, pushing away and pulling towards you, and then almost like rolling it back up and then turning it. Oh. And then we just keep doing this. And so if you do this for 10 minutes, that should be absolutely fine. But I'll obviously show you what it should look like afterwards. Okay, just keep going, pushing and pulling and then turning it. Right, and to get it off your hands, I mean, hopefully it will start to come off your hands anyway, but you should be able to now just pick bits off, and you can put it in front of it and then knead onto it. So if you just watch this, I'll show you how to do this. See, just take the big bits off your hands to start off with, and then just knead onto it, and it'll pick up the bits. So keep kneading it. Actually, hopefully you'll find this very therapeutic. So it's a really, really quick process. It'll take you, once you've done it a couple of times, about 15 minutes, and you'll have the bread ready the dough ready to start rising. And the smell when it starts cooking is absolutely fantastic. So just keep going with the kneading. And I'm going to do this till it starts changing, and you can start seeing how it should start looking at. Hopefully yours isn't too dissimilar to this. Starting to be a little bit less sticky, and that's what you'll eventually want. Right. And see, hands now, they're sort of cleaning themselves, but again you can just rub your hands together and it should fall off. If you do it in front of where you're about to knead, like this. There we go. If you do this every couple of minutes or so, you'll just get more and more off your hands every single time. So then just knead onto it. Just pick up the bits. You can roll it over it however you want. It's absolutely fine. Right, hopefully yours is starting to sort of take shape now. You'll be able to stretch it a lot more. It's a lot more stretchy. It won't break quite as easy. See? There we go. And then roll it back. And then stretching it away. Right. And this is exactly the same process. We're making granary bread today, but with you can make white bread with this absolutely fine. It's just 12 ounces and 12 ounces, so it'd just be all white flour if that's what you were, if you wanted a white loaf. But still, the process and the water and the margarine and the salt and the yeast exactly the same, and you knead it exactly the same way. So just get a different loaf. I like to sort of alternate it myself. One time I'll make granary, the next time I'll make white. So just kneading it away, and hopefully it won't be sticking to the work surface at all now. See, it should be coming away quite cleanly, and like this. So I'm going to leave you to it now. So if you do this probably for about another 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. You'll be able to, hopefully your hands are free now to be able to pause the video, and they're not going to mess up your computer. So then you'll be able to see what it should look like after 10 minutes. You don't need me waffling on any longer. Right, this has been 10 minutes for me now, so still going and going. So if you have a look and see what this looks like now, see it's become a lot less sticky and a lot stretchier. That's hopefully how yours is doing. 10 minutes is a good guideline. If you find it took you a little while to get used to the process of kneading, then you may need to just carry on for a couple of minutes. But eventually you just want it to look like this, so it's nice and stretchy and not too sticky. Okay, so just keep kneading it so it's nice and stretchy, see? Like this. So hopefully if you've got it like this, good, and it's good exercise for you. Right, and then all you need to do now is just get a bowl, then just with this little bit of oil at the bottom, just a tiny little bit, and just rub that around with your hands. It'll just stop it sticking. There we go. And then just pop this into the bowl and then leave that for an hour. I'd say an hour, it could be an hour and a half depending on how hot your house is, but you need to cover it with a tea towel and put it in a warm place. If you've got an airing cupboard, that's absolutely perfect, or a room that catches the sun, just somewhere that's nice and warm for about an hour and a half till it's doubled in size. To let you know with this one, it will pretty much have filled the bowl up to around here. So if yours is about the same size as this, which it should be by now, once it's sort of filled, I don't know what size bowl you've got, but if it's mine will be up to about here, filling the bowl. So that'll give you some indication of when it's ready. And when you come back, have your oven preheated to 240 if you've got it. If not, 230 is fine, and we'll be ready to do the next step.